Alright guys, we're going to continue.
Mommy okay?
What'd you tell him?
She'll be fine.
Did you have their stuff with them? Like their toys and their blankets and stuff?
They had something with them that they carried. One of them, I think, at CC and Bella had like a blanket or something with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like a pink blanket or...
What about the dog? I think one of them had a dog, right? That talked or... Dog.
Yeah, CC. Yeah, one of them had like a little barking dog.
Was that with you too? Do you know?
I think it was. Trying to, it's hard to remember. Like if they had like a big blanket, small blanket.
Huh? If he used this blanket to strangle the girls, smother the girls, he would know what kind of blanket it was whenever he talks about it later. You want to know why he doesn't know what kind of blanket it was? Because he didn't do it.
So, I think I saw on the video that you put a gas can or something in the back of your truck. Mm-hmm. Is that right? Did you have different plans when you put that in there?
I don't know what was going through my head. I feel like maybe I could just get rid of myself at the same time if I was doing all this, honestly.
Yeah.
You just think about that?
What'd you think about that?
He didn't answer the question again. What were you going to do with the gas can? And then he talks about taking his life or whatever, but that has nothing to do with the gas can. I just don't understand why he, beats around the bush about it. Why can't he just say what the gas can was for? It's not going to change his sentencing.
I didn't feel like I deserved to live after what had happened.
Was there any thought to the whole family going away that day, to include you?
After everything happened, that's a definite thought.
Yeah. See, it's interesting to me. We had all kind of wondered if there was a point when you were all together and if you were all going to pass together. That to me makes sense, because that's, even though it sounds crazy, that's what a family man does, right?
Family man doesn't do what he did.
No, I know. I guess what I mean is, it seems like you guys were going to be together forever in that way. Is that maybe what's going through your head?
Honestly, I just felt like I didn't deserve to live.
Yeah.
And it was like, whatever judgment I was going to come upon myself, I just didn't deserve to be on this earth anymore. Mm-hmm. What happened?
Do you know why I think he didn't kill himself? Because someone named NK killed those children, my opinion, and she was there along with probably someone else that we'll end up finding out about. And that's why he didn't kill himself, because there were other people there.
Okay.
So what made you not do that, do you think?
I don't know if it was just more of like because with the site, maybe it was just more of like, I would have hurt more people than just me and everybody else. Like, I know there's other people out there.
That's exactly what I just said. There were other people out there.
Not like at the site, but other people, like maybe
he slips, I promise.
Out in the area, like I didn't want something like on the site to catch fire and blow up. And then
what? Like, huh? What?
And other people around would get hurt in the same.
So you were thinking initially about starting a fire out there or an explosion or something, or
just no, not for that. Just like maybe I could take care of myself, and I would have been dead.
How?
He is full of poop. No, he didn't start a fire because there are other people out there. He just said it. Ugh.
With gasoline, that's the only thing you do. I mean, I don't have a gun, I don't have anything like that. It's not like you just commit suicide that way. But it's
So just to blow yourself up?
I mean, it was just, I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
I don't have weapons. I've never hunted before in my life. I don't know nothing was right that morning.
Yeah. I remember you kept telling me that. You kept saying, I didn't know what I was doing, Tammy. I didn't know. Like,
Yeah, when you asked me about the sheet, like,
Because he was influenced.
what were you doing? Like, I don't know what I was doing.
yeah. I think you were just like in automatic mode, or it seemed like. So did you drive straight out there? So what were you thinking on the way out there?
I was kind of like what I was doing right now. I'm just like, nervous, shaking, not knowing, like, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, my life is completely changed. I don't know, like, what's happening. Like, honestly, like, I try to picture that whole ride. Like, it's like 45 minutes to an hour ride out there. And it's just like, couldn't I have, like, saved my girl's life? Couldn't I have done something? Why did I do that? I don't know.
All right.
Like, this is my flesh and blood. This is like what I wanted all my life, was to be a dad, just to have, kids, and they love me, they, all that, and it just nothing made sense.
All right.
Like the oil tank, nothing made sense. I'm just like, what the?
Because of the oil, or like the oil tanks, none of it made sense. Because he didn't do it.
Doing?
Mm-hmm. So what happened when you got out there?
I took Shanann out just to a place off to the site.
Mm-hmm.
And then
What were the girls doing when you were doing that?
just sent them back to the truck.
Let's talk about that. Let's say that I'm wrong, and those girls were not murdered in their home, and they rode with their father out there to the oil rigs with their dead mother in the car. He says himself, Bella is smart. Those two little girls would not have sat in that car willingly. They were forced. Someone was there keeping them in, if it's the way he says it is. At 6, fight or flight. I'll give you a story. I think I was 6 or 7. My mom was dating a guy. I don't know if they were drunk or on drugs, but my sister and I were home, and he pulled out a shotgun and had it to my mom's head. My sister's 2 years younger than me. I was in a fight or flight situation. I don't remember in the 80s if we knew 911. I can't recall that, but it's what I did is I immediately got on the phone and called my babysitter. Because in scenarios like that, when something's going on, that you need to fight or flight. And I am telling you, if this was the situation he's saying, Bella would have gotten her sister and would have ran. That's just my opinion. I talked to my husband about it because that's what I thought. I'm like, same scenario, said it to him. He's like, yeah, but you got to understand, there are some kids that, their brains just don't process yet that things like this can happen to them. So they kind of freeze, which I guess, he had a great point. That is true. I just feel if Bella would have been sitting in that car, she would have gotten out. I do not believe his story. I just don't.
And then what happened after that?
CC was first.
Cece was probably first to be put in a tank.
She did have a blanket. She had a blue blanket.
Yelson remembers.
a Yankee blanket.
So was she alive when she went into the oil tank? No?
I put the blanket over her head.
And that's how she passed. Couldn't breathe.
I put the blanket over her head. I didn't want to. No. I strangled her right there in the back seat.
Okay.
What was Bella doing?
She's sitting right beside her.
Did she understand? Did she know what was going on?
She didn't say anything.
I mean, I tried to think of what my husband says. But I just think of me in that situation when I was younger. If something was happening to my sister, I would have tried to get the F out of there. I wouldn't have just sat there and watched and then been like, Dad, don't do that to me.
And then the same for Bella? Just without a blanket?
With the blanket.
Oh, okay.
I didn't look. It's like every time I close my eyes, I just hear her saying, Daddy, no, and that was it.
That's what Bella said.
I hear that every day.
Do you really? I'm sorry, man.
Sorry doesn't really take anything back to that day.
I know. Is it possible that in your mind you didn't want them to suffer throughout their life? Was this like a mercy thing?
I mean, you can say that like after the fact, but it was just like, I don't.
You didn't feel like that during it?
I just didn't. I felt like it was just like an anger with Shanann, with everything, that I was just taking it out on everybody that was in front of me that morning.
Yeah.
I mean, kids growing up without their parents, I mean, depending on what grandparents or whoever they grew up with, seemed to be fine. But it was just like, it was an anger thing. It was just like.
And what were you so angry at Shanann about? Like, if you could pinpoint it.
Nothing that makes anybody to want to do this. I mean, you could be angry at your spouse like your whole life, but you should never have done anything like this. You should never let it get to that point. But I let it get to a point where I've never been angry before. Like, and this was like the epitome of being angry.
Yeah.
He's never been angry before. Come on. Lie. Huge lie.
The epitome of like showing a rage, the epitome of like losing your mind. I mean, even like some people in here said, dude, like, what the heck happened? He must have freaking snapped. And, like, I just walk away. I'm just like, I don't see it in my mind how it could have, like, I look outside every day, I'm like, what could we be doing right now? Yeah. But,
I hope he thinks that every day. I hope that he thinks that more than once a day. Because that's what he needs. Deserves.
Right now I'd have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and more than likely a 1-month-old son. And a beautiful wife. And just like, right now.
Okay, so I apologize. I thought Bella was 6.
Oh, it's just me.
I watched that video of you finding out that Shanann was pregnant. You don't seem excited. You seem like kind of in shock.
Scared.
And yeah, like, oh fuck. Like,
Well,
it's already complicated and now this.
Well, it's like when we had talked about it like a couple weeks, it happened fast. Like with Bella, it was like we almost gave up trying, and then she bought me like a supercharger for my car. And then with Cece, it was like we had to try, and then finally, but with Nico, it was you know, once or twice, and then like 2 weeks later she's pregnant.
Is that what happened?
Yes. It's just like, it was more of like surprise, scared. I'm like, wait, what? Like we just talked about this. Like, you know, people have brought up the fact like, oh, she was probably pregnant before, like you guys even talked about it. I'm just like, that's not, no. But like, yeah, it was insanely fast. I give it that. Like, that's the only reason I ever gave that notion, like, even the moment of thought, because it was like faster than any other time that she'd gotten pregnant.
You just
Gave that notion of thought. What's he mean by that? Maybe I just like kind of lose thinking whenever he's talking there because he's so dull. It's hard, and I've had to watch these over and over. But like, what's he referring to there?
didn't seem happy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I don't remember the video much. I know she was wearing like a "Oops, we did it again" shirt, I think, and I was walking with my cooler or something. And I don't remember like my actual like reaction, like watching the video, but like I could see her probably see like didn't seem like he was jumping for joy type thing.
yeah, it didn't seem like that.
Did you watch the one of when I found out about Cece?
Oh,
okay.
is it totally different?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was because Bella was in the crib and it had an eviction notice on the.
Oh, yeah, I think you told me about it. Yeah, I never saw it though.
Yeah, I picked up Bella and spun her around and whatnot. This time it was just me and Shanann, and she was in the kitchen. I don't know, like I don't forget what date it was. Maybe like June 3rd or 5th or 7th. I'm not sure like what date it was in the video, but maybe I already felt guilty about talking to Nikki at work.
Yeah.
Maybe that was going through my head.
Is that the potential timing? Does that make sense? Okay.
I don't remember the video, what day the video was, but I knew like I'd kind of met Nikki around like June 1st. I knew like she told me like afterwards.
When you say met her, you mean like went on a date with her?
No, I never went on a date with her until she was in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Just like flirting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there was natural flirting back and forth, and that was just like, I knew that, like, with that video timing, I probably just looked like I was, like, felt guilty for even talking to the girl at work.
I mean, if that is all the time that they saw each other, guys, and he did all this, there were drugs involved, there was demons involved, and she helped. Think about that. It's not like they'd been seeing each other 6 months. It was like 6 weeks.
Like the duo, the burn, like the Apple Watches, like if you look on it, like when it tells you you're exercising, it says I was exercising like all day, because my heart rate was like up.
Oh.
Just from those patches.
Was it full of caffeine or what?
They just have something, they had something in them. I mean,
This becomes very interesting, and I'm almost considering doing a video just on this part. This is either going to make this business skyrocket or fail. But what he says about this black patch is quite interesting. And I thought about buying one just to see what I feel like.
I mean, the black label ones, the longer black ones, those had caffeine in them, but it never had that effect. I mean, the Duo Burn ones, the ones that are more of like the fat loss type, it felt like I was working out all day, even though I wasn't.
Oh, were you tired?
I mean, I know at some points, even Nikki said that, like, I'd fall asleep on the couch, on her couch while I was talking to her, and then like pick back up like I never knew I fell asleep.
That's kind of like talking about maybe heroin or your Vicodin, your Oxycontin, stuff like that. Falling asleep like that. I don't know. I'm just insinuating something there, but I just now noticed that.
I don't know if it was like an insomnia thing or what, but like I wasn't sleeping much.
You had a lot going on then.
Yeah, but that was the only patches I really felt like a real big difference on, just because it felt like I was working out all day.
Mm-hmm. You don't feel like they changed your personality or anything like that, though, or do you?
I don't know. I don't really know. I know I just felt different on those than any other batch. It was, I felt like I could just go longer and longer each day. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure like if that was probably a bad thing, because I don't think I was probably sleeping more than 3 hours a night.
3 hours a night. Okay. He works a full-time job. He's constantly working out. Their house is immaculate. 3 hours of sleep from one patch that he would wear? I mean, there's studies done on people not getting enough sleep and what happens. So that's very interesting that he says that. I don't know. I'm going to look into it more. Only 3 hours of sleep, and he was still able to maintain a job, a girlfriend, a clean home, take care of his kids. It's just crazy to me.
So would you stay when Shan was gone, would you stay with Nikki and then go home for to get ready for work?
Yeah, I just wake up at 4:30 and go home and get ready for work and leave. And I just work out when I got back home.
Mm-hmm.
What were the conversations with Nikki as far as at some point you guys were talking about her helping you find an apartment? So what did you guys talk about as far as your future together?
All right, guys. Until next time. Like, subscribe, share, or don't. See ya.